if that fixes it. Okay, there we go. So we have our mic working. So let's go ahead and let's see. Well, I know what's going on with this one. I have another one on the workbench. I'm gonna remove that one and I'm gonna take this one over. Okay, and this one I've worked on already a few times now because the customer tried to change the HDMI port themselves, and in the process of doing so, it caused a lot of pain for me. Right, so let me show you guys this. And I did the best that I could to try to get this in place, but okay. Okay, so this is a different one. Is not the one that I want to work on. This one is bug infested. Uh, and we'll get to this one later. But we'll get to that one later. Let's go back to the one that we were supposed to be working on. Okay? And we're just gonna finish taking out these. It was already supposed to be taken apart by the other shop. The guy was here, asked me to take it apart. That way, the process doesn't very good job. So let's continue part. And we'll see what kind of you'll see the damage that was done to the board and kind of what I repaired the best that I can in order to get it working and still gonna see damage. We'll put those off to the side. Have one more screw, I think, down to the board. Because even after I've tried to repair all the broken trace, I'm still having issues staying on, going in and out. And I think that's because all the traces damaged now at this point. Okay, so this is the port. Switch this over for you guys. Oh, we don't have our desk camera anymore. You guys can't see that one, so let's go to the microscope. Gotta start up. So not have that camera plugged up. Nope. Okay, so the camera is on. Look back in. Oh, I think. Let's try to reset this camera one more time. So the desk one is still here. I just don't have the can't think of it right now. So still trying to sort this camera out. So the camera is supposed to be wow. Camera is on. My fault. I really need to buy a new microscope that I can see out of both sides at the same time as I'm working. Okay, so this is what I tried. As you guys can see, most of these traces were already gone before I got to this repair. So I had to run all of these jumper wires. Back up that one. That's a ground. This one, this one right here got snapped off by the other guy that was here. Snapped that off because I checked all of these and they were all making a connection. Snapped it off. He's very like when it comes down to repairs, uh breaks more than he can repair. Sorry to say, but that's just all right. So we need solder wire. Gonna touch these ones back up again. Have to gonna fix that wire here. Wanna just trying to press that one down and get it in place. Add some more bucks, but it's definitely every time I press down on it because up right here. Might need a big just to get this done. Trying to avoid the bigger. Not avoid, but trying not to change out tips right now. I want to get this job done. I've been working on it for like the third time. Okay, and let's now back. This or not. So let's get a jumper wire. I can use the regular jumper wires, or sometimes I just take a strip of this uh, solder braid wire and just kind of stick in place. It works the same. Solder braid wire to go. Just soldered here. Has to go right here. If you're out of jumper wires and you need to get a repair done, works just as well. If I can get it down there. I need to put some more solder on that joint, and then I can solder from there. Bucks in. There. Solders right here. That should be. Let's go ahead and let's touch this thing back up one more time. We'll add some solder to our iron, and then we'll make sure that we put enough that connect. That's better. Touch that one up low. What else? And you know what? Just for the sake of this video, and just to make sure that we cover all of our bases, because I think this guy's gonna rip it out again. We're gonna make connection with all of these. So I'm gonna connect up also. And I think these what are they? EDM 20 boards. I think when it comes down to uh like heat boards, really all the coating gets rubbed off very easy. You're soldering one of these. Maybe you're maybe you're just doing this for yourself, right? And when you're doing it, real you're getting scared because it's your first time doing it, or even if it's not your first time doing it, you've been doing it for a while, and you're like, am I doing something wrong? Why are these boards, sometimes you do, sometimes you go to do a repair and solder mask doesn't go away, and then other times you go to do a repair on these boards and the mask goes away. Not you. I think it's something with the EM 20 board that the solder mask doesn't hold up very well compared to other boards. I'm not the first one to discover this, so I'm not trying to take credit for it. I'm just trying to share what I've learned or from my own experience working on these boards. That's what I've noticed. That when it comes down to the boards, I'm having to worry more about the green coating that they have all over the up. Over here, we're just going to solder this up to here. Go. And then we'll cut right here, and then we'll attach it to the next one, this one over here also. And that way, as this guy decides to start doing the wiggle test on the HDMI port, does break solder joints off the board. Wire is there to make the connection that's necessary properly. And what I still haven't done yet, I still haven't installed hard inside my computer yet, which I need to do. I keep saying that I need to do it, and I've been procrastinating. I've been procrastinating on that and a lot of other things. I really need to stop and just kind of get some off my list. soften up the flux a little bit, and then brush it away. Edit. Most important thing is making sure that I don't have any bridging. I don't have any wire that's touching ground. That's not supposed to. Oh, that one's got to get started back. Have to put some starter down. Also, some of this stuff might happen as you're bored, trying to get rid of all the flux from wires that end up breaking off. So, all right, so let's put some more flux down and let's make put some starter blobs on all these other ones that need. Kind of see where the trace is going already. This one here and then go. That's where I'm trying to make that connect. That one is pretty solid on there. I don't really have to worry about it breaking off, but I might want to just touch it up. One is pretty good also, but like I said, I want to make sure that this thing is not gonna come back for any. That one looks like it could. I could put add some more wire to it. Let's just place this one because that's not doesn't seem like it's holding up and it's not gonna hold up. It's gonna be the only reason why this thing comes back, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Where That should be. That should be it. Because I think when he's plugging it in, he's twisting the port and causing damage. And he doesn't care. He just does it every time. Okay. All right. So let's. I know you guys won't be able to see this, but I'm just gonna quickly test it and then set it off to the side and move on to the next one because he can actually put them together himself. I don't need. I'm trying to get through. I have this PS5 and a PS4. Actually, we probably can get the PS4 done. We can test it and going on with it. Then we can go from there. Because the PS4 I want to return to. All right, so let me just test this and make sure that it is showing an image. Then I can plug it in, power, and then let's. So we have blue light right now. You guys probably can see that. Just holding that up so you got light. It did switch input, so that's a good sign. I'm just waiting this PlayStation logo. I should have already started seeing. And maybe there's still something going on with it. And this is when we should have seen the PlayStation logo. So that means that one of the wires on here is not probably not connected up properly, soldered in properly. That's what that usually means. That one of the data lines, for me at least, uh, they're not in the right place. So we'll probably have to take this apart again. This console. Yeah, the kid ripped all those traces. All of them were gone. There was this one big um, solder ball all over it. One big blob of solder. Maybe something here is bridged and I don't realize it. Right here. That's not connected. Crazy because you guys watch me solder that. like 2 penny gin. Add any starter on. Oh, I have to use my tweezers to separate this. Wire just kind of. I think the wire might be wires. All right, so now let's get a wire from here to there. All right, let's just test them to make sure that none of these ones down here is bridging. And if they're not bridging, then maybe we'll run another test. Let me find my multimeter if I can. Okay, found it. I'm just going to kind of test these ones because I can't see that well. These two are still touching somewhere. Those two are still touching. Melt in the plastic. Might end up pulling this port. Trying my best not to, but we might end up having to pull because it seems like the whatever is happening is further up. Let's try to make the connection again. Then we can. I need to end up being shorter. Right here. That looks better. Here. And let's cut it right here. Right there. Now let's test again. Here. At this at plenty of space here. So let's liquefy the flux again. Light brushing. And I think what we're gonna do is use our hot glue gun and cover over those wires. I like to use hot glue. You don't have to. There's plenty of other things you can instead of hot glue, and they'll work out just as good. Uh, I just prefer to use hot glue. I use it for like the on the iPhones. I use it also for like the home buttons. Or sorry, on the iPads, I use it for the home buttons also, and that really helps keep home buttons from moving. I don't know what Apple uses, but I figured closest I'm going to get to that is probably some hot glue. So I use that, and it's been working well for years. That's my little thing. Try it. If it works for you, let me know. Comment below so that you tried it. I want to know who else it'll work out for, because it could just be something that I'm lucky enough to get away with. As we can see, it's better when the wires are a little. They have a little um, wiggle in them, so when they try to wiggle the port, the wiggle test or whatever, that way the wire doesn't break. So we're gonna test it again, and after I'm done testing it, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a hot glue gun and I'm gonna put it all up to the HDMI port, just to make sure that even if the wire gets a wiggle test, because they have some flux on them, they should be good. Or some hot glue gun, they should. Hello, hello, hey. Right, so we'll put that together. Quick, we're not all the way back together. I have to test it, and after I'm finished testing it, I can. We'll do the hot glue gun. It takes a few seconds for it to energize. That's what I noticed also. Okay, so we have image, no problem. And I think, like I said, I think this guy did a wiggle test on it, and because his hands are very rough, I think he just broke those other pins off that were already connected up. So I think the hot glue gun is almost up to temp. So let me just turn this console back off. And then we'll wait for this thing to fully turn itself off. Like that, okay? All right, so that's working. Let me just use the hot glue gun if it's up to temp, and then we'll start working on this other PlayStation. I'll put it back in the housing, and then we'll test it first. And once we test it, we'll be able to see what's going on. So a glue gun. Here we go. Okay, so let's. I'm just gonna put these in, and we'll start working on it. Then we'll test the other one, and then we'll work on it. Okay. Okay, so this one is back together. Well, if I was to put a number on, I'll put back together. I'm gonna say about 20%. Okay, so next, let's move on to this other PS5. Let's get this one tested, and then from there we can see what's going on. I believe he said that it doesn't do anything, and I think it might be a power supply issue because it was infested with bugs, and most of the time the bugs goes to the power supply. That's what I assume going on with it is. Actually, you know what? No. Let's just test this on video first, right? And then once I test it on video, I can go ahead and walk you guys through the steps on testing this thing, the components, the major components, like a power supply. If we can test that. If we can test the power supply. Maybe not. Maybe I can test it from this side of the board because the power button has to. It only will supply the 0.3 volt, maybe. No, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be 12 volts there all the time because there would be no way to have a 3 volt uh, without the 12 volt. So the 12 volt line has to be there in order to have the 3 volt line on the on. I believe the Xbox. I think they have the individual, but still you would be able to tell regardless. All right, so let's plug this up. We're not gonna. We're only gonna connect up what's needed, right? Because we're just looking for a beat of some kind on this console. So I'm gonna hit the power button. USB port is also damaged inside here. Okay, I'm getting nothing. No beeps, nothing. Let me see if I can get. I want to get the camera over the desk working. I'm not sure if I can. Maybe if I put a screw inside here, do this plastic and screw it to here, I can get this working. If needed. Do I have a drill in here? Nope. No drills in here. Okay. All right. So I guess we won't have that camera. But regardless, I'm getting no power from this console at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test the 12-volt power supply, and maybe I can get that on camera for you guys. If I zoom out. This is not a fancy multimeter of any sort. No, you guys can't see it. Yep, so the power supply is dead. The power supply is dead. Yep. Unless the 12-volt rail is shorted, seems like the power supply is dead. So let's go ahead and let's take this back apart again and then test the power supply. Or place the power supply. What happened? I don't know if I have this power supply because I think one of the ones that have the power supply in the middle, like the prongs for the power supply is in the middle instead of sort of off to one corner. Got one. Get those screws out. You have to remove this side of the panel in order to get to it. Then we can kind of lift it out. Maybe. One of the screws fell. I don't know to help. We have one more screw. And we still have some live roaches in the power supply. There were still roaches live inside of it. Disgusting. It's sprayed down with some alcohol. It's bad. and I don't have like paper towels. I need to buy some. Before I go out from now on, gotta buy paper towels. Just nasty. I don't like to bring it into my workshop because then I'm gonna have plugs everywhere. You can see on the back of here, it's just a whole bunch of bug dropping, roach droppings. I have the power supply for it. I found two power supplies, but I don't think these are the power supply for it because that power supply is a little bit different. If I have one, if I don't have one, then we have to move on. Until we get a power supply for it. Yeah, so it doesn't look like I have the power supply for it. But I think if I remember correctly, we could sit the board on top of here, hook up my DC power supply to it, and turn it on my 12-volt DC power supply. I think. Okay. Let's try that little experiment. So the board is right here. I'm gonna simply drop the board in its spot like that. I'm gonna take the heat sink and I'm gonna put the heat sink back in its place. I think it's raining, so I gotta go get that. Not bringing the power supply back in. The only way I bring that power supply back in is if I'm giving that back to the customer as a no fix. And if we get this thing to power on, then we know that it's working, right? So negative is right here and positive is the other one. So we can clamp and just stick the negative there, and then we can clamp the positive. Okay? But we want to also connect up, where's it at? The power button. Get a power button to USB port. Alcohol, so I don't need to do much. I'm just drying it off a little bit. And imagine if this is what the console looks like. And I've always said this: what does inside this person's house look like? Because they don't just live inside your console and your house is clean. I ain't no bug specialist. At least keep your house decent. I don't think they're gonna try to go there and live. Okay, so there we go. I'm not gonna do too much more to this. I just need to get these cables in. This goes around here. We're not gonna connect up our USB port because USB port, I want to see the light turn on. I'm connecting up that cable. Then our positive 12 volts right here. Rest of it. We have to make sure that we got 12 volts on the power supply. 12.1, that's what I have on the power supply. So when I touch here, so there's a short somewhere on the board. Looks like it's trying to turn on, but it's not turning on. No beat. Getting nothing. Nothing. So I have Oh, there we go. So it turns on for a second and then it turns off. Turns on for a second, turns off. Here, and then it turns off. Okay, all right. So well, that's a good start, right? That's a good start. So at least I know that there's a possibility that this console still can work. Now let's see if we can find out where the problem is on this console. Before I order a power supply. And if you guys are doing this at home, remember the power supply has a model number on it. Yeah, the common issues with PS5 short circuit are HDMI ports. That's the common issue with the PS5. When you have a short on the board, there's one place that I found that's very common with ports, and I'm gonna address that right now. I think I've done another video, short circuit. So we can first look over by the HDMI port because that can cause the console to turn on and off. See, maybe right here on this cap, knock that cap off. That cap isn't, it's not going to change the way the console function. I think in the beginning, everyone was saying that you needed to replace that cap in order to get 4K video, but soon, I mean, it wasn't very long after that, found out that that wasn't true. So I'm just going to assume that this cap probably doesn't cause the console to turn off, but I'm just going to take it off anyway. Okay? So I'm taking that off. I have more of those if I need to replace it. Not a big deal. Okay, nothing over there. The Wi-Fi area also can definitely be an issue. So I'm going to check the other side of the Wi-Fi area, which, if anything, that's where we're going to see our problem at. Let me just kind of quickly brush over before I move on to the other side of this. Because the other side of the Wi-Fi, I know for sure will cause problems. And if that, usually that's where I see the problem at when it comes down to like roach infestation. On the other side over here somewhere, might like a cap that right now. Well, that's not the case. Okay. So if that's not the case, then the next area that I have found for it is different. The line of caps that's let's check here. Check there. We're good there. Good there. Also, here. So maybe it was just that, but let's check over here. Because this is how I normally find that area that I was talking about that nobody has for. I start off over here in this area. Yep, that's gone. Not there. Power rail seems fine. Here, here. Don't know what this is. Good. Oh, it's over there. Okay. Here we don't see no droppings. All the droppings that we see over by the HDMI port. Set up the HDMI port looks fine. That USB port definitely was pretty bad. And over here, but over here also. Coils are fine. The South Bridge area doesn't look like it has any erosion around it, or any roach droppings, I should say. So we're all good over here. So maybe we're good to start. Well, let's just test these caps that's right over here. Wi-Fi. With them, but none of them look bad. None of them look bad. They all look pretty good. We're good over there. Okay. All right. So let's see if maybe that cap was causing a problem, which I don't think so. It also could be HDMI retimer. Could be. HDMI retimer can cause the console not to boot and cause that kind of loop where you press the power button and it turns on and turns back off kind of deal. So let me try this one more time if we're still getting that same loop. Or maybe it's just my power supply is not going to turn it on, so I have to buy that power supply for it in order to get it on, which, eh, maybe. How many, I mean, how many amps is, I got this set to? Like that? Let's try it again and still get the same. Or maybe it was just, the alcohol that was still there. Be anything. Because that's the only thing that I seen that was bad was that cap. But like I said, I don't cause that kind of issue. But it could. Because if that cap is in a short, that line is not supposed to. Well, if the cap is a wire, that line is not supposed to be a wire. The cap is supposed to make a separation. Battery, one side is positive, one side is negative. Not supposed to. Regardless, yeah, I don't think we were wrong about that cap can cause a problem. That it might not be. Okay, so it still powers on and then powers back on. All right, so let's test some of these power rails. Let's see what power rails we get and which ones we're not getting. Getting 3-volt power rail. We know that for sure because if not, we wouldn't be powering on. And the quickest 1.3. I might be the 12-volt has all the other power rails is on the other side of the board. All the other power rails on the other side of the board. So we won't be able to see those ones because we'd have to take the board out and then find those on the other side where we can test them. So we would test that. I mean, we could if we just take the board out the housing. But I don't know which power rail is always supposed to be present. I'm not getting short. Okay, so now let's test to see. Like I said, I don't. Let's just test and see. What's over Our issue. Motor seems fine, but most of the stuff that's happening area right around USB ports and that sort of. I know for sure my board can cause the not to turn because I've had that encounter several times when replacing them. And it wouldn't port over here something that's some kind of control for it that's bad that's causing it. So reading that I'm getting from over there, even if there's an issue, that's not the main problem. Not where the problem. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll wait till we get a power supply for this, and then we'll test the power supply in it. Because I think something is going on with it. I think it's the encoder, but I don't want to replace the encoder until I am like 90% sure that that's going to solve it. So let's move on to this PS4 that we have, and that's going to be the last one. We also have an Oculus that customer said it fell and it stopped working. That will be tomorrow, not today. Hey, the sticker has been removed from this console already, so let's see what kind of mess we're dealing with here. That's what the missing screw means. Missing screw means someone else has been here, and because the way the casing was, the top was ripped up, I think not only was someone here, but someone with no experience trying to fix it already. I put a sticker right here on it. Okay. Have the top off. Let's, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's start this console up also before we go any further. Fan might need to be replaced. These fans spin a little bit more freely. A lot of heat. Okay. Turns on, but oh, we don't have a hard drive in it. Let's put the hard drive back in. Uh, this, and we have no image. That's the first thing I have noticed. We have no image. Turns on, but all right. So no picture. That's what I'm seeing on this console. I don't having another issue so far. All right, so let's see what else could be going on with this console because we're getting no image, and that's not what I was told was happening with this console. I was told that it turns on, then it turns off after a few, but that's not what I'm experiencing. If we have an issue with my port looks good from this side, but that I just put in is probably the worst spot because that's where my arm goes. But I always just get short circuit. I don't know what never city knows, but like that's the only one of the common issues that I've ran into lives. The actual port. I haven't not very common with like Xbox, but very common with Southbridge. I believe is another one. I haven't really placed Southbridge chip, and this one might the PlayStation 5 that we was just looking at might be a Southbridge caused by the roach in Southbridge, but I'll still have to test. I believe I have a two get around to it. Thank you for stopping in, bro. almost down to board on this, and then we'll have to what's going on with it because I'm not seeing. Like I said before, that's not what I was told going on with it. Not seeing it. That's a whole different. If that's the only issue, then I don't mind it. But more than likely, it's thermal paste fine. HDMI port C, okay. So is the hard drive dead? So that HDMI port looks solid. So it could be this chip ported, or the hard drive is dead. One of them, either coder is dead or the hard drive, because we're not getting any. And we could test the hard drive, or we could just put the PlayStation in safe mode. Let's try to put it in a safe mode and see what happens first. Probably should have done that while it was not taken apart. Give myself some time. But I was hoping that the other shop was giving me the exact information, but I don't think so. Not sure who tested it. Uh, I lost that screw. So I didn't get up. Found it. All right, so let's. We can't get it in safe mode. Then it's probably not a hard drive issue. Something else because it still should be able to get into safe mode if it's having. Put a screw in the side of this to try to hold it. Test it. And with this, that's safe mode. What happens? So it's fully on in safe mode, and we're getting no image still. So that means that the actual inline encoder on this bad. Powering up fine. Nothing wrong with that. Encoder's bad. Okay? And that's how you test that. You just simply put it in safe mode. Mode comes up on the screen. Comes up on the screen, but you don't have any because your image. But I'm unable to mode so that the problem with the actual concepts, nothing that the hard drive. Maybe after I'm done with this, I might find out that the hard drive is a secondary issue. But as for now, the hard drive is okay. Now we have to find an encoder, have one, and then we'll put some thermal paste on this and then test it. If I didn't have all these consoles, guys, I wouldn't be uploading because, like I said, it gets repetitive when you fix the same thing over and over again. And I know you guys don't want to watch me fix, PlayStation 5s over and over again. Just it's boring. For me, it does. So I'm just gonna assume that it does for you. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's remove this encoder. Put a new one. I got a new board holder coming in that I'm going to be testing out, and I'm going to try to do that live on stream, guys. This board holder. If it works out, then I can put up maybe upload a link to it. You guys can buy it. Can buy one. Definitely need it for chips like this. Which I probably definitely have bigger because at one time I had like these big square ones. These square chips I used to have. I don't know. I don't know. Get off to the side and let's open up this new folder. Let's put some uh, fresh solder down on the board. Okay. Two ways you can do this. Just put your solder down. On this. Oh, the tip is not burnt out. Don't know what you're talking about. Do it like that, or pick that all away and then put new solder down. All up to you. Chose not to, but instead, uh, add another board holder. That one, the third board. Complete different size chips that you're going to be working on. Don't know where that board holder is. I have so many board holders and I can't find them. I've put them all away. Give me space. All right, well then I guess we're gonna have to put the old-fashioned way. No board holder. That's my iron. Cut out my flux. But why is
go. So I think Panasonic was like this. That getting nothing from. Got to lower the melting temperature in the middle of it also. Add a small amount like that, and then give it a melt this metal part easy. Oh, bucks down. Metal, I don't think it's melting from sitting because it's not. Middle part is not melting. That's what's causing all this headache. There we go. Now let's try that. That's better. Yep. Okay, so now that I have it in place, I'm just gonna press down up for a line. the center is still not that right up underneath the chip. What is that? Got bubble on top of the chip. Not seeing. Not sitting. He was acting. Now, I don't know why this is not sitting forward so much. I don't know why it's peeling there. It's probably a bad chip. Not staying. Not staying. All right, so then what we're gonna do is let's put a big blob of solder down on this board, and then we'll start working from there because it seems like something is going on with this board. It's taking a lot of heat, and nothing is happening. Nothing is. But yeah, it's gonna be peeling. So it's gonna be peeling, and it's one of those ones that I can't do anything about. I might not even be able to solder on this one because it's just gonna be such a pain. But we'll see. Look at that. Can't even wick it. All right, so let's put plugs on the wick and then try again. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we have any more of these PS4 chips because I think that chip is just That might be the only one we have, and we just have to make it work. But I'd like to get one that looks like it's in better shape than that on there.
because that chip is rough. If not, then we can pull one from. I think I have a few boards here that have that chip on it, the HDMI encoder, and I can yank one from it. Worst case scenario. Yep, so we have one on here. We're just gonna yank it from this board and then pop it on there. Okay, a lot better. A lot better. And we didn't have to fight with this chip to get on there. That chip was just bad. That is a conclusion that I've come to. But it seems like all of these components are. They all seem to be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna test it now and see what's happening. While I'm putting it together, it should cool down. So all fussy with putting it together. So every time putting it back together, and if not, I can just go fan. And we just got to replace the thermal paste on here. Good. Once you replace the thermal paste, thermal keeps it thermal. test it now and see what. That's not. It's not super hot, but it's not. Okay, so we're getting the same thing that was happening before. We're getting no image as of yet. So I'm getting no image still. It's, even after the HDMI replacement, I'm still getting no image. And I do have the hard drive installed, so let's. Okay, so let's just try safe mode now. So that should be safe mode. And still we're getting no image. So hard drive. Maybe a hard drive. But I thought I would be able to put it in mode still, but I'm not. I think we have a few drives around here. I think I might have thrown away all the hard drives that I had laying around. Yeah, but I think if it's a hard drive issue, it would still show an image. I know I'm not tripping. I know that it's still supposed to show an image, but I just want to make sure. As far as I know, even if you have a hard drive issue, you still should get an image. But oh no, that drive was not moving at all. At least with this one, I'm feeling it spin up, but still no image. But let's try safe mode one more time.
because that this console was fully powered up. No, no, no. Something else is going on. I'm convinced something else is going on. It has nothing to do with the actual hard drive. Yeah, something else is going on. HDMI port looks great. But that drive was like the one that I just put in. I could feel it spinning up. But I'm gonna take the shop word as far as when they said that the customer wants to get information off this console. So these are not all connected. Yep. All right, so then we just got to press down on this chip. That's all it is. Okay, I'm just gonna run my soldering iron over all of those just to see if I can get a good connection with them. Some solder. I don't want to add any more heat to the board. That's what I don't want to do. Let's get around. Let's try again. I don't think I completed one today. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I did that other one that was I already did it and I had to do it again. So all right, let's try again. And let's see what happens here. Okay, power supply again. I didn't know what was stopping it from. So we're gonna plug this drive in and then test it. And this might not be the right drive, so we'll have to put the other one in. Which I should have put a marking on. That's my stupid. So this is the drive that. Okay, so this is not the original drive because the original drive wasn't spinning like this. think someone replaced the drive on this thing that it was the hard drive issue. And I don't think that's the issue with this. I don't think it has a hard drive issue. For sure, it's not a hard drive issue. Another way I can test that is I'm going to put the old drive back in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my thumb drive. I don't think that's much at all. Maybe this uses phone. It says this phone. Nope. Okay, so I don't see any short there either. So maybe that encoder is also bad. I mean, what are the chances, right? Of me taking the encoder off of another board and that one being bad. So the console is fully on right now. It still have no image. So it's. I don't think it's an HDMI port. The port looks so solid. Not even wiggling. It's not moving or nothing. Even when I wiggle it, it's not doing anything. Yeah, it's still an encoder issue. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that the encoder that I just pulled off the other board is bad also. Because I know it's not. I put a market on the customers. Give it another try. What is this, the third or fourth time? If not, then this is where we're going to end this because it's a long stream, extremely long stream. Because I was trying to keep it always to like 30 to 45 minutes, and I've gone past that. So let's see what happens. Because that's what I don't get is that it's TV sees the console turning on and so input, and sometimes that kind of throws me off because I don't understand. If that's the case. Why can't we? But usually that means that there's something wrong with the encoder. From my experience, every time I've just like even PS5s when they do that, I just change the encoder. You're fine. This one doesn't want to cooperate with that. Or maybe it's because I've been doing a terrible job at soldering it in, not making a good connection. So, no safe mode, fully on right now, no info. Let's get our thumb drive and then see what happens. Yep, still an encoder issue. I'm convinced. No safe mode, encoder, or PlayStation. I don't think it's dead because it's still turning on. It could be an APU thing. right? So if I try a few more encoders and it's still the same, then the APU is dead. So let's try to find another PS4 Slim and let's track the chip from that. I think I thought I had one out already as I tried to five and then I realized that the encoders are different and PS4 encoder that I have out. All right, so we're trying a different one here. I'm gonna get the encoder off of this one and okay. Now we got loose pins on this one, so if this is truly the issue, I'm gonna be so upset because I literally thought I checked all of them. They're not soldering either. Starting not to like this tip because it's not taking solder. Maybe I have to help it with some hot air. Oh my gosh, come on. Can't get this out. Okay, I think those are all soldered. And if this solves my problem, that one is Okay, let me check for shorts. That short. Cover short on this. Nine. That's short. Okay. I think I have more of these. Let me make sure that I have PS4 ports because if not, then that means that so either this HDMI port is shorted or short is on the HDMI encoder. Let's remove the encoder first and see if the short goes away. If the short goes away, then the short is on the encoder. So let's lift the encoder. Let's just check that. These are different from this. Yeah, let's replace. Let's just replace the H. Let's find one and then replace it. Because I didn't even check that. I just thought that maybe it's the encoder. Let me just switch the encoder, and now I mean I could have caused that short. All right, let's test now to see what we get. So there's a short, and it's not here. I mean, that could be a low resistant line. Nope, not a low resistant line. Okay, so something exploded on the board, and it has something to do with this line, and this. I don't know where those lines go. Southbridge, but Southbridge, I would think that this thing wouldn't turn on at all. That probably goes to this. This probably goes to the AP. These probably go to the CP. That's what I'm going to say. Those go to the AP. That's why I can't track them down. I'm sure if I light this thing up, I'm going to see the problem there.
Yeah, so the reason why we're not getting this PS4 to work is because there's a short on the board, and the short that's on the board, I think it's an APU. And that's why we're getting the flashing on the screen, but it's not going any further than that. So I think that's where we're gonna end this video, guys. So thank you guys for watching. I will go back tomorrow and work on this other PS4 and see what's going on with that. So if you guys want to stop in tomorrow, stop on in. And thank you guys again. And I'll see you in the next video.